What's up, Gearland? Let's look at the guts!
He likes violence and nightlife and coming through. But the party's all over, she'll go come back home again. Lord, she don't understand him, she does best that she can. Yeah, she's a good-hearted woman, living good times.
We're back here at Tuck's shop. Tuck's the guru of amp repair and fenders, Mesa Boogies. He's worked on it all. He used to work for PV. What's up today, Tuck?
Trying to show some information.
So by the way, guys, we got one of the behemoths here.
Yeah.
We've got a Mesa Boogie Mark II C+. No EQ, no reverb, but we got the 5-band going through the effects loop. It's the best we can do. I mean, these things are so hard to come by that we're lucky to have this one.
It's almost the same exact sound.
Yeah, you know. Tuck was saying he actually played a Mesa Boogie 2C+ back in the day that had a built-in reverb and EQ.
Yeah, that's what I used.
I was telling Tuck that it's probably like around like $4,500 to $5,000 at this point for
Are they?
something like that.
God.
So Tuck, you set this EQ up in a really interesting way. I've never seen anyone boost the bass.
That's the only way that boogie really cranks and gives you that gain. You see how I've got the high end all the way up?
Oh yeah.
And this pulled all the way out?
Which one?
This here. See here how low that is?
Yeah, we
Look
got.
how high that is.
Yeah, we got 66K.
That right there is a trick thing that very few players ever let anybody know they use that way.
That's not the traditional California V that everyone
No,
talks about.
and the California V suck compared to that.
Damn.
Set it like it and you'll see.
Well, even on the board, like I've never seen anyone go that high on the bass with this. It's pretty interesting. I had no clue that setting existed.
Yeah, that right there is the best way to set that EQ.
Okay.
It gives you that screaming sound, you know, for the pinch harmonics.
Okay, let's try it out. Try out.
I don't know if it'll do it with this guitar, but it damn sure did it with my Les Paul.
Maybe we need to run the Les Paul.
Is that on?
Yep, activated.
You hear that pinch harmonic sound?
Yeah, it's just.
That's from that splitting those that far.
It's just like transients and sustain for days.
You can hear the difference if you put it like everybody else sets EQ.
The California.
Yeah, now listen to the difference.
Well, let's see here. That's pretty close to the California. I think some people would go even lower.
There you go. There you go.
Probably about.
Now try that.
Probably about right there. Let's see it.
Just ain't got it, has it?
Not as much as the last setting. That's fine. It doesn't sound bad by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but listen to the difference.
Now this is some old school boogie knowledge
Now
here.
this is the boogie sound that gives you the metal sound that everybody loves, like Randy Rhoads and all them.
Yeah.
This is what they used. Here's the difference.
Totally. So you were saying earlier that this might not be like as good of a sound as we could get from it because the capacitors are possibly leaking and
Exactly. It'll sound better if you redo it.
so
If you put new caps in the power supply.
do you think we're at like 50% of like its tone, 60%?
No, you're probably about 70%.
70? So there's another 30 extra
Yeah,
tone?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we got to check under the hood to see what's going on.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot more tone in this bad boy right here. You see what it does for it?
Yeah.
It makes it monster
It's like it's
tone.
balls.
Hell yeah.
Gives it some balls.
It gives it all the balls man could ever want. But the one that had the EQ built in
Yeah.
was way better than that.
Way better than
That there, yeah.
this guy.
Yeah.
Well, we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah. But I mean, that's good sound, man. That right there would sound good with any amp.
Well, the cool thing about this one too is that it's got the controllable output and input level.
Yeah.
So you can almost run it like, like a preamp in front of or in the effects loop.
It works perfect for EQ, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very little difference in that and the one that's built in. But
the
the
built-ins-
one that's built in is better.
Yeah. Do you have footage of that, by the way?
Yeah, I've got it. I was saying I got 2 shows of me playing that same amp.
All right. We're gonna unwire everything. We're gonna unscrew the chassis, and we're gonna take a look under the guts.
All right. She's apart. Okay, we're checking out a Mesa Boogie Mark II C+. We ran into a couple of bad power supply caps, which have to be replaced. We're going to replace all of them. That's these 4 here and these 2 here. Also, we had a bad bias resistor, which we had to replace, which caused one of the tubes not to be working. Okay, now what we're looking at here, this is the tone caps. This is what gives you your sound, your tone when you adjust these here, these caps. This here is the caps that run to the output tubes, which would be your cathode caps, which could run straight to the output tubes, which are right here and right here. Okay.
6L6s.
Yeah, which are 6L6s. This amp here is made to be played all over the world. It's got all the voltages you could ever need right here.
Let me turn it around so we can show these guys.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
117 would be US. 200, I don't even know, really. I know.
I think that's British.
Oh, I thought 230 was British.
You may be right.
Anyways, you can.
Yeah, the point is.
The point is they'll work all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in this amp here, we got 2 outputs. We got 4 preamp tubes. Runs the whole amp. Okay. This right here is your power supply. Your power supply transformer. Over here is your output.
Yep.
Power supply transformer, output transformer.
Output.
Oh.
This right here runs the voltage from the preamp to the output. What this is called is a filter choke. Okay. And the only thing we got other than that is the output tubes, the preamp tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Your caps, these caps here, these here, and these here, all go to the preamp. Okay? And you'll have a ground coming off of every one of these negative caps. You got positive and negatives on all these. So all the negatives go to ground. This right here, just coming out of this one hole right here, is the output. See?
Mm-hmm.
Now this here is the input to the output.
Okay.
You got to have an input and an output on this and this. One of these goes to this tube, one of these goes to this tube, and the other one goes to the DC.
Okay. And
Okay?
Then the DC.
And then this here is the other end, which is the secondary part of the output, which goes to the speakers up here. See?
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
Okay, so the speakers connect into the output transformer, and then after that, it gets sent.
After that, that's it. When you get to the output transformer, you're hitting all the way to the speakers.
Okay.
Now the power transformer, you know, that's supplying voltage to everything. They used to use them little boxes that had little switches inside.
Yeah.
But now they use these because they're so much littler and they work better.
Okay. So after the switch, it seems to be going to a couple more resistors and
Exactly.
and capacitors.
Yeah.
Like really small micro capacitors, it looks like.
Yeah. All it's doing is switching from channel to channel.
Well, that's a pretty big deal if it's switching from channel to channel.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
It's changing.
That was a big thing when they developed this. It saved them a lot of money because them boxes that used to have the little switch that had two little pins in there,
Yeah.
those cost a lot of money compared to these.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That was a breakthrough.
And they work better, and these here are quieter.
Even better.
Yeah. And all these are hooked to the 12X7s, and they change the frequency when you turn these.
Okay.
That's what these do.
It spits out something.
It changes the frequency.
Okay.
You know what
It
I mean?
tunes it.
Yeah,
Tunes
it
it.
tunes it. That's what they're called. You know, they're tone caps.
Tone caps, okay. All right, and then there's this guy down here, this purple cap.
Yeah, all that does is it's the voltage that goes to the bias.
His last time.
Bias is the minus voltage that goes to the output tubes.
Okay.
It's like adjusting like you're adjusting your carburetor.
Yeah.
It's doing that.
Okay.
That's what the bias does. It's like adjusting that. You know, the what do you call it? The tack.
Okay.
You know what the tack does?
Yeah.
It's the RPMs.
Yeah.
When you're adjusting the bias, it's like adjusting the RPMs on a car.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that the hotter you make that, the hotter this thing runs. If you turn the bias down, it runs cooler. It doesn't run near as hot.
So if they have an option in the HX model where you can switch between 60 watt and 100 watt. Is that what that controls?
No.
If they have
no,
that switch,
no,
that wouldn't
ain't
have
what
anything?
that controls.
Oh, okay.
You got to change the main voltage going to the output tubes to change that.
Okay. Got it.
To make it change, to go from like 100 watts from a 50,
Yeah, yeah.
you have to change the main DC voltage.
Okay. Let's see. So we're at the bias capacitor. I think that's what it's
And you
called.
got a diode here, and that's what turns it into DC.
Okay. Diode right beneath it.
Yep. That goes straight from here over to these two outputs.
All right. And then there's a little diode down there hiding behind the bias capacitor.
Yeah, there's a ton of little diodes that do little bullshit that,
Sure.
you know what I mean?
What about these guys over here?
They do the same thing. They work with the bias.
Oh, okay.
It takes more than just that one cap to work the bias.
So we replaced that bias resistor. Is that the
That
final?
ain't the same kind of bias.
Oh, it's a different bias.
No,
Okay.
that's a different bias than what I'm talking about. The bias I'm talking about is the minus voltage that goes to these two tubes. And
Okay.
this ain't.
Is that
This,
the positive?
this is the hot voltage, the 450 volt voltage.
Yeah.
This the bias voltage that comes off of this is only like 42 volts.
Oh shit. That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's a totally different thing.
Okay.
This bias here is like adjusting the volume on your carburetor on your car.
Okay.
And this here is on. This hit will shut the whole amp down because this is the main big voltage.
Mm-hmm.
It'll shut the whole tube off. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because there's 450 something volts coming through each one of these.
And then this final capacitor attached to the power transformer. It's got it's tacked on there.
Yeah, all that is, that's just going to the ground. See how this has got ground in the center?
Mm-hmm.
That's all that is.
Okay, so that's a good question. You know, a lot of people might have trouble with this ground switch.
They've quit doing this now.
Yeah, yeah, they have.
They don't do this anymore. You know, it's something that they found that they didn't need to do, so they just left that out from all the new amps.
So in each position, if we're in the center.
In the center, it's straight up. This way here, one of the hots goes to ground. This way here, the other hot goes to ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you switch it all them ways until you get it quiet as you can.
Okay.
But if you just have none of them and just have one ground hooked up,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have no hum. So you don't need that shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when they developed that, when they decided that worked,
Mm-hmm.
then they quit doing this shit. Because they didn't need that three-way.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I see a big problem. Well, we wasn't getting the sound that we should have been getting.
Oh, really?
See this resistor right here?
Blown.
This. See it?
You see it right here?
Yeah.
It's a blown resistor.
Yeah, let me get even tighter here. There we go. Nice.
Can you get right on it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
That's your bias resistor.
Okay.
And without that, you don't get the right voltage going to the output tubes. That right there is one of the main things that happens to these tube amps. Yeah, that right there cost you about $1.85.
Yep.
Something like that.
Do you have any resistors here?
Yeah,
Huh.
I can replace it. You want me to go ahead and do it?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we might as well.
Why not?
Should be a 470.
Looks nice and clean under this hood.
Yellow, purple, brown. All right.
I don't know. Maybe the caps look pretty good. I mean, you would know better than I would, but the caps look...
They look good whether they're good or not.
Oh, okay.
This and these three. The ones I'm talking about.
Those are the output.
These here are the ones that give you your tone. These here and here. These here are the ones that go to the power supply.
Mm-hmm.
These 5. And this one here, the 6. Now these here will shut the whole thing down if any of these go bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a good idea to replace these. They don't cost that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're $10 a piece, right? For the decent ones, the ones with the right
These here,
microfarads.
yeah, these here are even cheaper. These here are like $10 to $11 a piece. See that one there? Look at that.
Oh, that's a little fucked over there.
It's bad.
So this thing is like running at 50%, I would say.
Yeah, it's only giving you half what it should.
Holy shit.
That's why it sounded weak. You know, it sounded kind of thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing would scream if that wasn't mad. And this cap here also would cause problem too.
Sure.
You know. We really ought to replace all 4 of these.
Mm-hmm.
If it was me, I would.
Okay.
You're looking about $40. But I mean, you know, you do what you want to. If you don't want to spend that much money, and we won't.
Oh, I mean, whatever needs to be done, this amp needs to get up and running.
It needs to be done.
Yeah.
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 It needs to be like new. And that's the only way to make it like new is to replace these.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
it. The plan.
Let me get a resistor to fit that 470 there.
The temperature right there, it's going up to...
725.
That's the tip of the solder?
Yeah.
Damn.
It takes that much to melt that lead, man. And
Holy
I use silver solder, and it takes even more.
Dude, get some footage of that meter right here.
I run it at 700,
Yeah.
but it moves up and down like 20 one way or the other. See? When you put it up where that's setting it right there, so I've got it set at 702. And see, it changes as, you know, the temperature goes up and down. It'll go back down to a little bit under 7, and it stays close as it can to 7.
That is hot as hell. Literally.
Oh yeah. When you touch this to your hand, it goes
You know it.
it makes a sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's white shit. After you touch your skin, there's white on there.
Yeah.
Don't touch your skin. Don't fuck with Tuck when he's got his solder, guys.
But anybody that does it regularly has burnt themselves 100
I
times.
burnt myself enough, I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. It's got the SX, the model, right on the side. So, I don't know. Let me pull this over for you guys to see. But
Okay.
this shows what
Don't let it
model.
fall.
This shows what model of Mark II C Plus this is. It's the SX. Yeah, we found Randall's initials right here from Mesa Boogie.
Really?
His initials are right there.
Yeah, he usually signs about everything he does.
Yeah,
Especially these, because these was his baby.
yeah.
C pluses, man.
It's
You
because his partner went out of town. that this whole thing even came about. Like,
Really?
when he was out of the country, when his partner was out of the country, it gave Randall enough time to come up with a souped up design for the Mark II series.
He did.
Yep. Just replacing this blown out resistor here. Bad resistor on the Mark II C+.
This really helps the sound right here, man. All right.
What's this tool that you got in your left hand?
This is what you call a solder sucker. You heat the solder up, see what it done? It sucked all that solder out of the hole so you can put the new part in.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen that. That is cool.
It's actually called a solder pullet.
Yep.
I call it a solder sucker. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now, get that sucker in there and we'll be in business.
That's the resistor we just popped out. It's kind of amazing that the amp even works with a blown resistor like that, but Tuck was saying this amp could work.
Show it separated.
Tuck was saying that the amp could work on one resistor, even one tube.
Yeah, one tube. It just shows what the signal is coming out of a tube is a sine wave, which looks like an S. One tube goes up and then down, and when it hits the middle, the other tube turns on and goes down and up. So what it does, when one of those resistors goes bad, you just got the one going up and it plays. But you got one tube that ain't playing, so it's nasty.
So it gets nasty like that because it's bypassing the broken resistor?
Because one of the tubes ain't playing.
Because of the resist. Oh yeah, the tube needs the resistor to play. Out of.
Yeah, it don't get no voltage.
So we're
See the DC voltage starts in one end and goes to the other pin,
yeah.
and without that voltage, the tube won't work.
Okay. Now, what kind of resistor are we replacing it with?
I'm replacing it with a better resistor, which is a 5 watt. This will handle 5 watts of power.
Oh, okay.
The one that was in it only handles 2.
Oh, way better resistor.
Yeah, this is way better.
Yeah. It's like you were saying earlier, the 9-volt batteries can only take 0.7 voltage or amperage.
Yeah.
And then the wall plug, like the one spot, can take 2 amperage.
Exactly. You're looking at the same difference.
It's very clean chassis in there.
That's why I love boogies, man. They're clean as they come.
You know, I've heard people talk about how complicated, these amps are, but maybe they're just talking about the Mark IV or anything afterwards, but because these are incredibly clean.
They're a lot more complicated, the design is, but to work on them, they're just as simple as Fender.
Oh, okay. It's good to know. Does that also include the rectifiers? Are those also just as easy?
The rectifiers, you got to work with the rectifier circuit too. So you got that also. you know.
Yeah.
Which is the same, you know what rectification is, don't you?
Yeah, just the rectifier tubes.
Yeah,
Output tubes.
exactly.
Makes me wonder if anyone's ever modded one of these, Mark II C pluses or Mark IIIs.
That's how this
With the rectifier.
became. It was a Mark IIB.
Oh yeah, and then they souped it up.
They modified it.
Well, what I mean is, has anyone ever added a rectifier to a Mark II C plus or a Mark III?
That's something I've always wanted to do because it would sound 100% better. It would.
Yeah, that would be a cool project.
It would. All you gotta do is change the transformer, put a socket in, and put the rectifier tube, wire it in. That's it.
Well, the transformer is a big part of this.
Get in here real quick.
That's a big part of the price. Is the transformer.
Yeah, I heard that there was some process that they can't replicate, that it's actually illegal to make a transformer like one of those at this point. I forget what exactly that.
Really? I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, there was some like material that they couldn't source.
Really?
That's, I guess, toxic, and they used it to create those transformers in there.
Huh. Well, they're still making all the rectifier amps, ain't they?
Oh, what I'm saying is like the series, the Mark II series and the Mark III series.
Yeah.
The transformer from those.
Oh, that was different.
Yeah. So if you did want to add a rectifier, you wouldn't want to sacrifice the transformer, because that would be really hard to come by.
Here we go. There we go. There we go.
Well, there it is.
It's in there.
That white one, 5-watt resistor.
You want to hear how it sounds now with that tube, that resistor in there?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. This is it brings the AC up real slow, and it shows if it's drawing any current. So if there's anything wrong, you'll see that go up.
Yep.
See, we got everything on. Yep. Oh, we blow the fuse.
Oh, we did?
Yep. That makes sense.
That's good. That's what it's there for.
Absolutely. Deader than a doornail.
Wow.
See what value it is. 3 amp. That makes sense why it didn't work on it.
Well, when you when you have amps and shit, you're gonna run into problems for sure. It's just part of the game.
Absolutely. I ain't run this much trouble in ages. Come on, baby. Is that light coming on?
Not yet. Oh wait, yeah, it did. It is on.
Takes a while. It ought to be humming worse than that. Huh.
Just a bad pot.
Yeah, it's just dirty. I don't understand that. That should be humming or making a bunch of noise. Reckon that's it? Cracking?
That's the pot, probably, right?
That's what I was thinking, but
Yeah. Maybe it's the resistors.
maybe it is the resistors.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because both were blown.
Yeah.
Both of them was smoked.
Yeah.
But they went to the AC. And that makes me think, you know, the only thing that does is light up the tubes.
Yeah. So
why would it make a noise? That's a dirty pot.
Yeah, that's definitely a dirty pot.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
Because it always does that. It does that all the time.
Does it?
Yeah. Just a dirty pot. No big deal.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you play through it?
Sounds good.
Man, that fucking sounded killer.
This thing's insane.
That sounds about as good as a real Les Paul, don't it?
It does, yeah. Plays as good as a real Les Paul too.
And they had a broke neck. That freaks me out that it plays that good.
Whoever did this is pretty badass.
Yeah, they done a good job. Man, that made a big difference fixing them them tubes.
It opened the damn thing up.
Yeah.
It just opened up all the definition and characteristics.